curious about education visas in Thailand, keep watching this video. I'm going to be sharing my experiences with the Thai language education visa in hopes that it helps you plan and prep before your move to Thailand. In this video, I'm going to be sharing my experiences with the application process for the Thai language education visa, specifically at Chiang Mai University. If you're new here, my name is Kat and I've been an expat in Chiang Mai for the past 5 years, since 2019, and I share my experiences in this channel helping people who are also interested in living abroad long-term in Chiang Mai. So I'll first start this video by answering the question of why did I decide to do an education visa. For me, I really wanted to, one, learn about the culture here, meet people, and I knew I was going to be here long term, and so I wanted to have a baseline understanding to be able to have basic conversations. If I wasn't fluent, I at least wanted to know a little bit of the language. Obviously, when you live in Chiang Mai, if you haven't been here before, you can get by just speaking English, but for me, I wanted to respect, where I'm living. This isn't where I'm from, and so I wanted, again, to learn about the culture and learn the language itself. And so I did my Thai language education visa through Chiang Mai University, and that's what I'm going to be sharing my experiences with here. There are other language schools that you can do, private schools, but Chiang Mai University is a really popular university here for foreigners to learn Thai language. It's a lot more formal, and so I'm going to be sharing the process application and how I got started. So I actually started the application process when I was still in the US, and so I can put the links in the description for the email, the link to the application, and how to get in contact with them. But this was a program that was highly recommended by other foreigners, and I had other friends who have also went through the program, and they were pretty far ahead in terms of learning the language. And so I reached out when I was still in the US. I emailed them, I filled out the application. So within 24 hours of me completing the application, they emailed me back with a list of the documents that I needed to send to them in order to actually start the process. And so the first thing they needed was a background check from my city. So I'm from California, and it took me some time to get a background check approved. And the background check needed to be at least 6 months valid. They also needed a copy of my resume and a copy of my passport photo page. And those were the 3 things that I needed to send to them in order to start this process. They also sent me the costs of the program. So this is a 1-year Thai language program. It's twice a week, 3 hours each day. So I think I was doing Tuesday and Thursday, so 6 hours a week. And the cost was 42,000 baht. There was an initial 3,000 deposit that was required in order for me, again, to start this process. That is non-refundable. And if you happen to be already within Thailand, you can still start this process. There's just an extra visa fee to, let's say you're on a tourist visa and you want to transfer to an education visa. There's always an additional fee for that. I think last year, it was around 10,000 baht for the fee. That might have changed since then, but again, I'll put the links in the description so you can kind of look at their application and reach out if you need to. Essentially, anytime you're already within the country, typically not even just for education visas, but visas in general, in order to change from one visa to another, there's always a visa processing fee. So if you're already in the country, don't panic. There's still options for that as well. You just might have to pay a little bit more. The course itself, the teachers are highly qualified. And from my experience, everyone that was there was actually interested in learning Thai, so it wasn't like, you just sign up for this visa and people are just sitting in the back on their phone. Like, it was actual formal class. And so usually they kind of split up the course, so it's twice a week, obviously, for 3 hours each. So each time, so let's say on Tuesday we focus on, let's say, speaking and just having conversations and practicing that in class, and then on Thursdays we practice reading and writing. And so the beginning of the course, they teach you the actual alphabet, and Thai language is a tonal language, so there's not only the alphabet and vowels, but there's different tones. So you could say the same word 5 different tones: high tone, low tone, mid tone, and they can mean completely different things. And so that's a huge part of the beginning of the course, is really understanding those basics and foundations. And then it goes into writing and reading and speaking. So it's a lot, and if you really want to learn Thai, I think you really need to dedicate time, not only within the class, but outside of the class, to actually practice. I know a lot of people that were in my class last year, they took private classes as well outside of our regular course, because it is a group class. So we had maybe 10 to 15 people at a time. It was people from all over the world. We had Korean students, Australian students, American students, students from Malaysia. So It's also a really nice way to really meet a lot of people too. So that's just another plus to the course itself. And so you'll initially start at level 1, and then if you want to continue this visa, I believe you can do it for up to 3 years at the specific school. And each year after you complete your course, you'll take a test and they'll kind of evaluate your language level. And then you can go to level 2 and level 3. For level 3, the test is a lot more intense. So they really want to make sure that you have a baseline understanding of speaking, reading, and writing. I think in level 3 it's more reading and writing, but obviously if you're just starting out, level 1 is obviously where they're going to place you in, and I think it's a really good place to start, again, to not only learn about the culture and meet people, but really dive deep into the language itself. So in Thailand, anytime you're on a visa, you have to do 90-day reports. So this includes on the education visa. So essentially, even though you have your visa for the year, every 90 days you have to go to immigration to report that you are still here, confirming your address. And this has to happen every 3 months. There's no way around it. But here in Chiang Mai, there's a drive-through at immigration, so it's super quick. You're not having to wait hours at immigration like you are for other processes. So let's say you want to renew this visa after level 1 and go to level 2. When you go to immigration to do this, they are going to ask you questions in Thai, just to get an understanding of, are you really learning the language? Are you really taking these classes? Because there's been incidents in the past with people on visas, and there's just, a lot has happened, and so they really want to make sure that you're on this education visa and you're actually learning. So last year when I was renewing my visa, they were asking me to introduce myself in Thai and to just have a conversation. And so just something to keep in mind if you are wanting to do this long term to level 2 and level 3. So overall, my process with Chiang Mai University's Thai language program has been really simple. They're super helpful. Again, it's very formal. So if you are looking for something more casual, this may not be the place for you. They're also very strict on attendance, so outside of normal Thai school holidays and things like that, you will be required to attend. I think they give you a max of maybe 15 days of absence that you can do. And so if you want to travel and do other things, that might be something to keep in mind, that you are going to have to go in person to attend these classes. So there are other options to study Thai here. This isn't the only option, but this is what I have experience with. So I hope that this was helpful. If you have any follow-up questions, you can put them in the comments and I can try my best to answer them. Again, I'll put the links in the description as well if you want to reach out to the school directly. So I hope this was helpful in helping you kind of plan out your visa process if you're looking to live here long term. And as a reminder, don't forget to turn on your notifications and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of my other videos. And I'll see you next time.